I've never seen Gone with the Wind. I have to.
It's an incredible movie, but it's very of its time.
Right.
When I say of its time, I mean incredibly fucking racist. Hello, I'm Jimmy Carr, and welcome to The Big Pitch, where I sit down with the funniest people I can find, and they pitch me their movie ideas, and I decide whether we're going to make it at Netflix or whether I'm going to steal it and take it elsewhere. Today, I have with me Ahir Shah, stand-up comedian, an all-round good guy. Now, before we get into pitching the movie, I'd like to know a little bit about you cinematically. What is your go-to genre of movie?
My favourite film, I'll probably open with, is a film called Lagaan, which I'm always very keen to recommend to people. And I think that this is the lovely thing about the elevator pitch of this film doesn't really work.
Okay, so what's Lagaan?
Right. Lagaan, firstly, that just means tax. So already...
I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out. I'm thinking we should get another guest. This has gone off to a very rocky start. It's a movie called Tax.
It's a movie called Tax. It's set in rural India in the 19th century.
Is this the one with the phenomenal budget?
It did have a very, very large budget.
I saw this
at
movie.
The time. Yeah, and
This is
it's
a good
a
movie.
sports drama. Fundamentally, at the end of it, it becomes this sports drama, but it's also a romantic film, and it's a musical, and it's a historical thing. It's this big, eventually, thing between the villagers and the representatives of the British Empire, everything. And this is one of these lovely things that these Bollywood films, which have absolutely everything
Let's not
thrown at
spoil
it,
it for
and yet
people, but the
works.
representatives of the British Empire, they're the good guys.
Solid blokes.
They're the good guys in
really,
the story,
really
right?
lovely. Yeah.
Cool.
So the people who were playing, the actors playing, one of them, Chris England, wrote a book called From Balham to Bollywood about it, and it was basically just like him and this like Sunday cricket team that he had with a bunch of other actors, and apparently they just got rung up one day being like, "Do you guys want to? You all know cricket, right? Can you just come to India and be these guys?" I'm sure. And they, developed this really wonderful relationship. This is like 25 years ago now this came out. And it's, really, really wonderful.
That's a cool favourite film.
Lovely film, lovely story behind it. I like that there are these sorts of things that don't necessarily work on paper. I mean, the first time that I broached watching this film with my wife years ago, I was like, "Oh, would you like to watch this? This is my favourite film." And I described it as I described it to you.
The pressure on that, of the watching with the other half.
Yeah.
I find it incredibly difficult with comedy movies, especially. Like something that this is really funny. Let's watch it together. And you're just listening to the deafening silence of like, really? Nothing?
Yeah.
Nothing, this isn't doing
But
anything
this is why
for you?
just pick something really like pick Airplane, and then if
you're
there's
golden.
no laughter, then you know that
Break
you
up
need to
with them.
leave that room immediately.
Leave that woman. Never mind the room.
Call the police. Right, that is a dangerous position to find yourself in if someone is stony-faced during the entirety of Airplane.
Yeah, I think that's a really good test for a relationship. If you like the same movies, if you like the same, if you laugh at the same things, that's a great kind of connect. So, okay, so that's a great favorite movie. In terms of genres, what's your go-to then?
Fundamentally, I like just watching stuff explode, and that is the dream.
If cool guys could be walking away from it as it happens.
Oh, then that's yeah.
Chef's kiss.
Yeah.
No, of course. Of course. I think everyone likes that, but some people also want people to think they're clever.
Exactly. But there's a lot of people who I think are lying to themselves, right? Because if someone were to say to me, "Oh, I'm not interested that Bruce Willis has just jumped off that plane while the plane is on fire," I'm like, "Why are you lying to me and yourself?"
Yeah, this is crazy. Yeah, they're lying to themselves. Are you a cinema guy or are you a watch-at-home guy?
Cinema guy. For
Cinema
sure.
guy. Okay. Yeah. Cinema snack, go-to?
Large salty popcorn.
Large salty popcorn.
Large salty popcorn.
Wow. I mix it. I layer it.
Oh,
The salty and the sweet.
are you like?
No, I
So
get them.
what, like
I get them to
they're
go,
doing like one
spoon
scoop,
of this,
another
spoon of this,
scoop.
spoon of this, spoon of this. Yeah, and then it mixes up. I would strongly recommend. It's a game changer.
That's the most diva shit I've ever heard in my entire life. Do you think that people who aren't Jimmy Carr can get away with asking for that sort of thing? Like,
I don't think so.
it's like
But
you're just rocking up to the concession desk being like, "They know me here."
It's also like the amount they charge for popcorn. Please, I'd like a little service here. But it's the dopamine hit of the I don't want to get. Oh, sweet bit.
Yeah.
Delicious. And then the salty bit I view as healthy. I go, well, this is a healthy snack. Oh, delicious. All right, so movies, you like historical, epic, sporting, Indian drama. Okay. one of our subgenres, I'm sure. We've got 27,000 of the motherfuckers. What are you going to pitch me on today? What movie genre?
So I'm going the sort of like classic. We've all seen them. We've all loved them. Talking like a classic like high school film.
So I believe the algorithm
Yes.
throws this up as Class is in Session.
Class is in session.
And this is movies like Grease, American Pie, Breakfast Club, Bowling for Columbine. The least funny of the four, obviously, but that sort of thing. So this tends to be older actors playing younger.
Yeah. And I fully did not understand that when I was young.
Oh, please, you don't have to tell me. I remember watching Grease and thinking, and not being able to differentiate between the 1970s and the 1950s because it was just all a bit confusing. What do you mean? Why are they so old and why are they in the 50s but it's now the 70s? It was too much going on.
So I loved Grease when I was a child. That was one of the like VHS tapes that got worn out, you know?
Sure.
And so even one of the, underneath one of my eyes, I've got a little scar from when I was being Danny Zuko on my little choo-choo train. And that was my Grease Lightning, and I drove that into a radiator and cut my face open. So that's why this is an artistic injury from my commitment to the T-Birds.
You maybe need a better story for that if you're ever going to speak to a woman.
Yeah, you should see the other radiator. My parents must have found this because I was just like a 4-year-old in a leather jacket rolling around the house yelling about he's not just bragging, it's a real pussy wagon.
Jacket?
Yeah. I have no idea. I guess the charity shop had a...
The line in Greece, it's a real pussy wagon, was something that was like, before we knew what wagons were, never mind pussy, we were quoting that. That can't have been good for us. The stuff they got away with.
You watch that film as a child and you're like, okay, so these people are supposed to be, like 17, 18?
Yeah, they look older. But it's a great genre because people do love those movies because it's that thing of like nostalgia, and you think about your school days, and you also can enjoy that world. It's hermetically sealed.
Yeah.
People that don't necessarily get on with each other have to be in the same space. It kind of works for that. It's the office comedy. So, okay, give me the 60-second elevator pitch.
Because loads of these school movies were made in eras gone by, and we watch them like now. You watch Grease, and you're like, oh, that was like, that was very of its time. That was very of its time.
60-second elevator pitch.
Right.
Not the backstory of why you think this is a good idea. 60-second. I'm a busy executive at Netflix. I got 60 seconds.
Yeah.
Go.
We are going to make a high school drama filled with everything that we think is fine now, and then we're going to lock it in a cupboard for 20 years and find out after 20 years what about it we find completely unacceptable.
This is a fantastic idea. Is it called Boyhood? That movie that Linklater filmed over 25 years?
Yeah.
With the kid actually growing up in the movie? So everything that's acceptable now, we put in a movie.
Yeah.
Absolutely fine. And then we get it in 20 years' time.
And we're going to have no idea.
And we go, oh, it turns out.
Yeah.
Do you see, he did a podcast wearing a pinstripe suit. What?
It was the year before the Pinstripe Revolution. It was the...
Oh, no, he had no idea. Okay, so speaking as the Netflix executive, okay, I don't want to sound greedy. Netflix is obviously, we're not a charity, but we're not like a business. We're cool, right? We're cool guys at Netflix.
Yeah.
I don't want to wait 20 years for my money.
Yeah.
Okay? I can't say that more aggressively. Okay? So, what I think we need to do is take this great idea.
Yeah.
And we need to take it back and do a movie set in a high school in the 70s or 80s. And the joke is, what's acceptable then?
Okay.
Okay? So this is the Calvin Harris song. This is
Right,
like,
yeah.
I Got Love for You if you were made in the 80s. So we make the definitive 80s high school movie with everything you would do then. And then we put it on now.
Yeah. And then you could have this as being an almost like rolling thing over the years.
You do the 60s, the 70s. So our different demographics can go back to their school days.
Yeah.
And then you can show the kids, well, hey, Mummy and Daddy went to school in the 70s. Check this out.
Yeah.
We were crazy. No, that's what we called those people. No, I'm serious. No, that's what the graffiti said. You don't change anything. You just make it like a historical document.
Yeah.
Because it's weird when those movies get, like Gone with the Wind got cancelled.
Did it?
Oh, yeah, no.
I've never seen Gone with the Wind. I have to...
it's an incredible movie, but it's very of its time.
Right.
when I say of its time, I mean incredibly fucking racist. But it's like, but it was made that like everyone is a product of living in the times they live in. And we can never see it. We always assume history is finished. And of course it isn't. This is just, we're in our little bit of it. And you go, well, I can't imagine there'll be any more progress. This is it.
Yeah.
But they always said that.
And you sort of encountered lots of people. Like there are people who you encounter who are like, it's the Grandpa Simpson thing, right? Of like, I used to be with it, but then they changed what it was, and now I'm not, and it'll happen to you. And you're all going like, well, that's...
No, I'll be fine. Now, I don't want to be a dick. We do need a story because it's a film.
Right.
At the moment, we have a setting, which I love.
Yeah.
And we have a concept, which is we make the unacceptable thing. It's almost like you as a filmmaker, you're making yourself into South Park.
Yeah.
I've always thought South Park, they've got rules and regulations in Hollywood, and then they've got a thing called South Park, and it does what it fucking likes. And no one talks shit to those guys. But you're basically doing that for yourself because you go, well, the whole premise is this was acceptable in 1985.
And we're making that time period. So almost like, like little time capsules.
I love the idea. Okay. And then we can make a series of them. But let's start.
Yeah.
Should we go 85? Should we go 75? What high school?
85. When were you at high school? I was,
let me think. Late 80s would be.
Late 80s, okay.
I would go mid-decade because that for me is like you get the music. Obviously, the soundtrack could be incredible to this, right? Because you go, well, the soundtrack becomes like a star in itself.
Yeah. Potentially we just have like a soundtrack which is just the Smiths and everyone agreeing that all of Morrissey's opinions are fine.
Of course. Of course. This is before National Front Disco even came out. Soundtrack-wise is going to be great. We need a bit of a story. Is it, the classic high school story?
The classic high school story is never really improved upon, is it? Like it's the one that runs through everything.
It tends to be zero to hero is the thing. It's always going to be a version of Wicked or the Book of Mormon. It's the schlubby kid that gets the girl and you don't think they're going to be a hero, but they are.
Well, so this is very interesting though, because when I was going for it's the classic high school story thing, I was thinking of, you've got your Greases, or I say more recent, it's still a very long time ago now, but like your High School Musicals, right, where you've got actually the central character in Danny Zuko or whoever Zac Efron was in High School Musical was sort of top dog even to begin with. And I think that this is very indicative of the fact that perhaps because clearly I'm such a huge alpha, and you're approaching things from a different perspective.
Yeah, no, I mean,
that's we're thinking of different...
Big dick swinging right here. Sure. But that thing of like going, okay, so you need there's always a bit of romance. If you think about it, every romance in a movie before, I would say 10 years ago, involves a woman pushing a guy away and the guy grabs her and kisses her and she likes it. Like that was the movie trope. It's insane.
I was gonna because now the only film that I can think of that has a romance is Lagan, which we were talking about earlier, and I'm like, well, Lagan didn't have that in it, but I'm pretty sure that until about 20 years ago,
we've got an edit, and I'm pretty sure the Lagan references will be brought down to an absolute minimum. Hey, but Lagan doesn't have that sequence. Yeah. Not a rom-com from the 80s, though, is it? Not a high school movie. Yeah. So class is in session. Okay. So you got this. So you've got our go-tos are Breakfast Club. Mm-hmm. That's one scenario where you go, okay, it's a bunch of misfits thrown together to do a task. Mm-hmm. Or you go romance, which is more Grease.
Yeah. I would ideally like for there to be a musical element.
Now, I'm amenable to this. Mm-hmm. Now, your love of Lagan, I don't think it gets mentioned enough. Where do we set this? Because they did that thing with Sex Education where they took an American high school model and moved it to the UK.
Yeah.
And it was kind of an interesting fish out of water. Is there too much? Is this American high school?
Well, I think that probably for the market, it's got to be American high school. Because also, like, you just accept, even as someone growing up in the UK, you accept the American high school thing that you see in all of this.
Desks,
and then
the desks with the chair
the desk
with the
little thing.
It,
and then you get to high school and you're like, what? We're not fixing cars at all. Like, that's never occurring.
Shop is not a thing.
Shop's not a thing.
We've got a tuck shop.
Wearing the same clothes as everyone else.
Yeah. Okay, so set it in America. Maybe this is a franchise across time and across geographies. Like, what is being a teenager, right? It's the first time you fall in love and you find out who you are and who your friends are. So it's got plenty there. We do need a story.
New student gets transferred.
Sold.
Yeah.
It's always the new student because
New student gets transferred.
I've just arrived as a viewer in this high school. I need to be shown around.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy needs to be shown around.
Yeah.
Handy.
And this person can be played by one of the actors who looks like children.
Okay, who are the actors? Who are we thinking?
There's the boy who was in Dune.
The boy that was in Dune. I don't know what Timothée Chalamet needs to do to get name recognition from you. I don't know whether his career could have gone any better up to this point to get you to go Timothée Chalamet rather than the boy off of the Dune thing.
I was mainly concerned about pronunciation.
Of the word Timothy.
I swear.
I know you're of Indian heritage, but please, there's a little bit
I
racist.
swear that's not how that's spelled.
Okay, Timothée Chalamet is a great shout. He almost looks too high school to be in this.
Yeah.
Like he's almost the right age.
Travolta now.
Sold.
Yeah.
Travolta now.
Yeah.
Oh, this is very good. So we go.
Travolta now, and no one comments on it.
Oh, no one says a goddamn word. Can we get Molly Ringwald back? I always liked Molly Ringwald.
We can have anyone in this.
From this era as well, we can, because they're not busy. Emilio Estevez's phone rings. He's just going to have to wipe the dust off it and go, what, hello? Yeah, no, I'm still alive. Am I in a pub quiz? Okay, what about we get the cast of The Breakfast Club back. They play the same kids at the same school. And there's a rivalry with another school.
So basically, what you would like to do is just remake The Breakfast Club.
No, it's the next day, but they're all back at school.
And we're doing brunch today.
Yeah. The Brunch Club. Okay, so I love all those characters, right? We get the guys from Dead Poets Society. None of them are busy. Okay? We remake that movie with the same actors, playing the same characters they did. We already know they can do it. We don't even need auditions. Oh, hi, Molly Ringwald. Do you think you'll be able to play Molly Ringwald? Yeah. Okay, you're in. 16 Candles. We get another couple of characters from around those other movies. John Cusack's got to be in there somewhere, hasn't he?
Yeah, makes sense.
John Cusack can play the cool kid. I was sold at the beginning. I'm even more sold now.
So we're basically bringing the back. Are you trying to form like an Expendables group out of people which could, given my fondness for things blowing up in films, add an extra action element to?
I think this idea of we're taking nostalgia to its logical conclusion. Oh, it's not like this reminds me of The Breakfast Club and Dead Poets Society and movies I haven't seen in years that I love. This is like, it's brand new and it's nostalgia.
Yeah.
Could you sum up your movie in 1 minute just before I decide whether it's a green light or shit canned?
So I think that lots of these high school movies, they say you couldn't make that nowadays. So let's make them again functionally with the original cast. So all of that, it's already been done, right? So no one's going to get angry a second time, everything. And it's just a huge hit of nostalgia with actors who, let's say, are probably going to be available to recreate some of their golden performances that we know and love from Days Gone By.
Okay. And going back to your absolutely original idea, which was we make a movie now and we put it out in 20 years' time.
Yeah.
Okay. The first one's a hit. We do that next year and we get the cast of, Sex Education, and we say to them, guys, we're going to film something now that will seem totally acceptable. It's a movie. It's not coming out for 20 years. None of you are going to be working in 20 years. We'll pay you then. You're going to be thrilled. This is your pension. I love it. I think this is absolutely wonderful. I can hear money. This is a great idea.
I will say, I've got chills.
Yeah.
And I multiply.
I'm losing control. And the power you're supplying.
It's electrifying.
The Big Pitch is a co-production of Netflix Podcasts and BBC Studios Audio. Subscribe now wherever you get your podcasts, or you can watch full episodes on Netflix is a Joke's YouTube channel. Goodbye.